Hello everyone, I have a very easy tutorial to show you how I make a mini accordion book, and the design is not my own. You can find various tutorials like this on YouTube, and I will try to find the link on the one that I watched. This is just my twist on this type of accordion book and how I decorated the covers. So what you will need, you probably already have at home, but you will need some cardstock. You will also need a pretty napkin, and these you can find at Dollar Tree, or I have seen quite a few at Tuesday Morning. So you're gonna need that, and the cover itself is made using, of all materials, bubble wrap, and I save the envelopes when we get a package from Amazon, and that's the point. When you craft, you can end up spending a lot of money, but you can also recycle. So this is why I have been really enjoying making books using this type of material. And the other things, you're also gonna need a glue stick, some glue stick. And since we are going to be working with this type of napkin to make the material, it will be helpful if you have some Mod Podge. And a very old brush to spread the Mod Podge. I have been using this one, and after using it for a while, it does get stiff, so just designate one of your brushes to be used with the Mod Podge. And the first thing, I have the measurements written right here. You will cut 2 covers using this material, and I like to use my rotary cutter to use this material. And so let's begin by doing that. And I usually like to tape it. I tape it like this, and this particular cover, it's going to measure 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4. So let's set it right here, and it helps to place a piece of masking tape holding your bubble wrap. So 1, 2, 3. Cuts it right off. And this one at 1/2 inch. Then we will score at 3 1/2 inches. Six 1/2 inches. And finally at 9 1/2 inches. Set that aside. You can see this is going to be helpful when we have to fold our material. The next piece will be scored at 1/2 inch. At 3 1/2 inches, and at 6 1/2 inches. Okay, so this is basically going to make your accordion book. Everything. Apologize for all that extra noise. So what you're gonna do with your napkin is these napkins have a layer, a white layer of, you're just going to separate it. And this one was pretty easy to remove this white part, because we are just going to need the pretty decorated piece. Okay, and the next thing you will do is select which part of the napkin you want for your cover. And I'm gonna say that I want this little bird to be at the top, but let's, at the top of my work, like that. And I'm just now noticing that this has this barcode stuff here. You might not want that, but just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just gonna go ahead. But if you don't want to see that, you could always paint this white, either with gesso or with acrylic paint. Okay, so I'm gonna leave about 1/2 inch border all around. So I'm just cutting my material. Okay, I might just set this aside and work on this piece that doesn't have that barcode, and I might pause the video and then paint that over to show you. So then we are going to take the Mod Podge, and with the brush, I am just going to apply the Mod Podge to the surface, just like this. And Mod Podge it's like a white glue to me, but when it dries, it's not sticky. It dries very nicely, dries nice and clear. Okay, so then we take the napkin, and you can do it like this, putting the right side down, and then line it up. I can see that my little bird is going to be right there at the top, and press it down. Press it down. This stuff dries pretty quick too. And then I'm just going around trimming my edges. Okay, turn it around, and that's how it's going to look in the front. So then I'm going to make a diagonal cut, because I want mitered edges here when I join the back, this part to this part of the material. And you just need to leave about 1/8 of an inch, just a very small amount. I don't know if you can see it, maybe possibly even less than that, to get your corners nice. So okay, so at this point now we need to apply some more Mod Podge on the inside to stick these tabs, or the back of the, and just brush Mod Podge only about 1/2 inch or so. You don't have to be perfect. Like I said, the Mod Podge dries nice and clear, and it won't leave anything sticky. Okay, and just fold the edges of your napkin in, tap it, and be gentle because the material can tear. Your napkin can tear if you're a little too rough. Then do the bottom piece. And what you see right here is a piece of parchment paper. I reuse these pieces of parchment paper, and I like them because things, when you work with glue, things won't stick. Won't stick like if you were to put just a regular piece of newspaper or any kind of paper. Wax paper would also do the job. So we're done with that part, and you can see how the corners are nicely mitered. And this, you will need to let it set out to dry. Sometimes I'll let them dry overnight before you proceed to the next part. And I wanted to show you this here. This is how I finish my work, and that's the reason why you need to let this dry real well, because I will go back with my sewing machine and embellish, do some free motion sewing on the front, and then the edges get zigzag around. So we're not going to use this piece right now. I have another one that I have already that is dry, and so we will work on that. Now, as you can see, this has bubble wrap here, so you will need to have a piece of decorative scrapbook paper. What I'm using here is a musical book. I get them at Goodwill, and they're very inexpensive, and that's what we will use to cover up. And I have one here that is ready for me to do the free motion stitching, and that's what I will do now. Okay, and then I will come back. Okay, so I am back, and I finished doing the stitching with my sewing machine. These lines right here, we're done doing the free motion, and that is another tutorial. This is where you use your sewing machine to basically draw with a straight stitch, and you have to lower the feed dogs on your sewing machine, but I don't want to confuse you anymore. Like I said, that's another lesson. And then all I did around this, I did do just regular zigzag stitch all around, and I haven't finished doing the zigzag on this one, but as you can see all the stitching marks are towards the back of the cover. And I told you you could use a glue stick to glue the paper, because this is just paper. But I'm not now wondering about this plastic here. We'll see how the glue sticks hold. If not, you can just use Mod Podge, the same material that we used to apply the napkin to the cover. So with your glue stick, you want to make sure that all the surface is covered. So apply a generous amount, and then just place it on the back of your work like this. Smooth it out. Get it nice. And now another thing that you can do, and that I usually do to protect the material, is apply Mod Podge to the back of the material. So again, with your brush, just brush the back of your, with the scrapbook paper or musical paper if you choose to do that. And just one layer of this Mod Podge will be enough. Looks like a little piece of thread there. Okay, so we let this, again, set it aside to dry. This is the one that I did at the beginning, and it's already dried. But like I said, since I use my sewing machine, I like to let it get super dry. So 5 hours or overnight. And so that's, and then this one, like I said, I did do the stitching, the free motion stitching, and then I just have to go around with the zigzag stitch. My covers are finished. They are right here, and they're nice and dry. I'm going to choose this one to be the front, and this one will be the back cover. And the musical paper is the inside of the cover, and the Mod Podge is nice and dry. So the next step, I'm going to set this aside and work on the inside of our book, or the accordion itself. And I've gone ahead and folded it. All you do is the first tab is folded in like this. Then you get a valley fold here. The next one is a mountain fold. And this one will join to this other piece on this tab. And that's it. But before I glue them, I just wanted to let you see that I did go ahead and embellish some of these pages, and I used bits and pieces of washi tape. This is part of a security envelope, and this one right here is just a little strip of fabric. I've gone ahead and done some stitching with my sewing machine, and used small pieces of lace as well. And when you turn this over, if I had, or it's the opposite way, if I had stitches on this side, on the other side there would be the back of the stitch. So that's why I covered it with this piece of paper that came from a security envelope. And I've put a little bit of stiffened crochet, and this is another piece of small lace. So now we get to put them together. And it's like this. So just make sure that you are getting the zigzag pattern. So mountain fold, valley, mountain fold again, and ending with a valley. And to glue the strips of cardstock together, I will be using tacky glue. And first I will apply some glue to this strip. And joined it to the other piece. And really it's only one join to join the two pieces of cardstock. Remember, one piece was smaller than the other one. One measures 10 inches, the other one measures 9.5 inches. As I explained here, there's one piece that was 3.5 inches by 9.5 inches, and the other one was 3.5 by 10 inches. So you want to let this dry, because it's not hot glue, but when we fold it, it will become an accordion. See, it's not dry yet. So I'm going to use something to hold them together. Okay, and we're almost done. Now the next thing to do will be to glue the covers to the accordion itself. And I found out that the easier way was to put it all together and then glue this in tabs. Before I glue them, I will work on the closure. We'll let that dry a little bit more, and on my back is where I will open up a small hole using this tool, a crocodile, and we are going to use the smaller setting. I'm just going in as deep as my crocodile allows me to go. And we will add a small eyelet. So it's all done. It's always easier to do it before you put the book together. So by now this glue should be pretty much dry, and I'm going to close my accordion, and I will line up. First I'll work on the front, line it up, make sure that you have the same distance from here, from each end. Okay, so we'll work with this tacky glue. Any type of white glue will do it, probably even a hot glue. I haven't really tried hot glue. So this is the front cover, and my book will open this way. Or it could open this way if you want it, but it's just, then I'm going to line it up. And when you work with white glue, it allows you to reposition it a little bit, move it around. If you work with a hot glue, once you put the glue, you can't really take it apart. So the back piece will go right here. Actually, you have to pay attention that the eyelet is to the right hand side. Okay, so put a small amount of glue on the other tab. And make sure that they're all, both front and back are lining up correctly. Now you want to let this sit overnight, and perhaps put a heavy object. But before you put a heavy object, because the glue could shift, I would just use some sort of a clip. hold your two pieces together. I don't want to leave it too long because this might even have a tendency to make an indentation on the cover. So just hold it for a little bit. Maybe put something that's not super heavy, just something that's applying some weight. And I wanted to show you that this is the piece that I painted with white. So when I get ready to apply the napkin, now you don't see that barcode mark as much. And this one is already dried, so I get to work on this tonight, putting the music paper on the back. So okay. As you can see, I have covered up a little bit of my eyelet right there. So most of the time there's a solution to when you have encountered problems like this. And it's just, I'm just gonna have to puncture a hole. Perhaps I should have really made the hole when I had this piece on. Okay, so I figured out what I did wrong. Instead of piercing the hole here on the inside back cover, it should have been out here, and I would not have encountered the tab, this piece right here. But it still works. It still works. So all I did is insert the piece of elastic, and this elastic measures about 7 inches, more or less. And you insert both pieces of elastic, and then all I'm going to do is tie a knot. There's always more than one way to make something, and you learn as you go. As you make the next one I make, I'll be more careful to see where I open that hole, okay? Because this closure is just basically to keep your little accordion book close together. And I just really like these. I think they would be good to give to someone on their birthday, and they can write down their memories, or the possibilities are just endless. So when you open it, this is how you open, and you have places here to write down your message, your memories, even put small pictures. And then there's the back cover, and then when you turn around, you have the other side of the pieces of cardstock to write. So this is the end, and I thank you for joining me, and I hope you like it and get to make one. They are not hard to make, and again, you get to use things that are around your house, like the Amazon Prime bubble wraps. So thanks again, and have a blessed day.